Today you spoke about that special maftir on the Shabbat Parah and the significance of having rituals in our lives to give us direction when we feel unstable and to usher us through transitional moments, including everyday transitions like what you shared, such as going to sleep at night, joyous occasions such as becoming bar mitzvah, or solemn, mysterious occasions such as encountering death. As the maftir explains, there's a very special and unusual ritual for someone who has come into contact with a corpse. But why do we read about this particular purification ritual a few weeks before Pesach? Ma hakesher. What's the connection between ridding oneself of this particular contamination and our springtime festival of liberation? Our sages have been very creative in approaching this question. For example, our maftir passage opens with the phrase, Zot chukat haTorah. This is a law of the Torah. The Midrash in Shmot Rabbah points out that the Korban Pesach, the Paschal sacrifice, which was offered by the Israelites every Passover, is also called a chok. Here's the verse in Exodus, the book of Shmot. Adonai said to Moses and Aaron, Zot chukat haPasach. This is the law of the Paschal sacrifice. The Midrash makes a link between the Parah Adumah and the Korban Pesach through the shared word chok, and asks which of these two rituals is more important, Lemi yesh yoter kavod. The answer given in the Midrash is that Parah Adumah is more important, for without it, one could not participate in the Korban Pesach. The requirement for participation in the Korban Pesach was that one had to be ritually pure, and no one would want to miss out on this great communal celebration. Therefore, the reason classically given for reading Parashat Parah 3 weeks before Passover is a pragmatic issue of timing. According to the sages, no Jews lived farther away from the Jerusalem temple than a 2-week walk. So, if you came to Jerusalem and then needed a week of purification before sacrificing your Korban Pesach, this reading about the red heifer would be a timely reminder. In our day, when there are no sacrificial offerings, reading about the Parah Adumah alerts us that it's time to start preparing ourselves for Pesach. I don't mean cleaning our houses or stocking up on special foods, but a deeper spiritual form of preparation of ourselves. For instance, we might begin asking ourselves questions like, what constrains me? What is an Egypt in my life and in our world? And what kind of liberation do I need? What's holding me back? Rabbi Claudia Marbach, a graduate of Maharat, offers a unique take on the connection between our maftir and Pesach. She notes that the Parah Adumah is called a chatat, a purification offering, meaning an offering that purifies one from a chet, a ritual offense or a sin. However, in this case, there does not seem to be a sin. No offense has been committed. Coming into contact with a corpse or a vessel that has been exposed to a corpse isn't a sin at all. In fact, preparing someone for burial is a mitzvah, the highest example of giving without expecting anything in return. By the way, side note, if you are interested in learning about or even joining Bethel's Chevra Kadisha, please come to a breakfast at 9:30 tomorrow morning to learn more. Or if you can't make it, let me know that you're interested. Back to the red heifer. So we know that the individual is being purified from contact with a corpse, but what is the sin the Parah Adumah is atoning for? To answer this question, Rabbi Marbach suggests another connection to the Passover offering. Remember that the Pesach sacrifice was offered the night before the Israelites left Egypt, the night of the 10th plague, when every Egyptian home was touched by the death of the firstborn. She asks, could the Parah Adumah be some sort of restitution for the innocent lives lost that night, or a ritual bringing purification from all the death that surrounded the Israelites that night? Surely our ancient ancestors could not have emerged from that terrible night untouched by what they had witnessed in Egypt. Today, we too witness death and suffering all around us, sometimes close at hand in our own family, community, or country, and in faraway lands. The Torah knows that human beings cannot be untouched by an encounter with death. It weighs on us. It gives us pain. If we become overwhelmed, it constrains our capacity to live. In our own day, there's no simple ritual akin to the red heifer that can free us from the pain and loss of human beings that death brings. So what do we have instead? Let's think about the name of this week's Parsha, Vayakhel. It's a verb that comes from the noun kahal, community, assembly, and it means to bring people together. Our tradition does not teach us to deny death or pretend that it doesn't exist. Instead, in the face of death, it calls us to come together and to engage together in small and simple life-affirming activities again and again and again. We can act every day to increase life, to enhance life, to renew our own lives, and expand the potential of the lives around us. We could grieve together and also celebrate together, reminding ourselves that life holds joy and beauty and love, a power that death itself cannot defeat. Viewed in this light, the Parah Adumah, a ritual about death, is actually a pathway back to life in community. And on this Shabbat, it leads us forward to Pesach, our festival of joy and renewal, celebrating liberation, celebrating the rebirth of the natural world from winter to springtime, and the birth of the Jewish people. On this first Shabbat of springtime, let's give thanks for this community that brings us together. Amen.